So this is a little bit different, but I thought I would talk about it, given the whole Defy Media thing. For those who don't know, Defy Media was an MCN, so a lot of YouTubers had contracts with Defy. And when you have a contract with an MCN as a YouTuber, it basically means that they take a certain percentage of your earnings. And my experience with an MCN, this is how it was done. This is how it's typically done, and this is how Defy Media worked as well. You own your channel, but instead of getting the money directly from YouTube, YouTube sends the money to your MCN, and then the MCN will dole out your cut of it, right? So maybe the MCN is taking 10% and you're getting 90%. That's pretty generous. Some of them do that, but usually not the bigger ones, right? I think the one I was with, it was a 75-25 split, right? So I was getting 75, they were getting 25. So anyway, I wanted to talk about this in light of Defy Media shutting down. I actually just looked it up, and there's now a class action lawsuit. Creators are like not being paid. They're trying to contact someone at Defy Media, creators who were with Defy, and no one works there anymore. So they can't even talk to someone. It's just crazy. I think it was Furious Pete. All of his videos, once they shut down, once they kind of canceled their connection with his account, I think there's literally like a cancel button. At least there used to be when I had an MCN. It's been a few years. Yeah, once they did that, all of his videos got copyright claims from Defy Media. It's been a bit of a shit show, and a lot of creators have spoken out and complained about their experience with Defy in the past, not even just what's happening right now. Meanwhile, the stars behind Defy-owned Smosh and Clever have taken control of their YouTube channels and told fans that they plan to continue posting videos while they await the fate of those brands. It's surprising, says one source involved in discussions about what is next for the former network of creators. We don't know anything. That's pretty terrifying. So obviously this is one of the worst cases of mistreatment by an MCN that we have seen, but it's really nothing new. There have been problems with these companies for years now. And so I just want to talk about my experience a little bit and explain why I don't have an MCN now and have not for years and have no intention of ever getting one, and why I think you might want to join one, because I think there are cases where you do, but I think for the vast majority of YouTubers, there is no reason to be part of one of these networks. So this would have been 5 years ago. This was late 2013, like September, October, something like that. And I was contacted by an MCN. They're not super big here, but I think they are internationally. I remember the email was actually somewhat personalized. They actually knew like what my channel was and that it was about like vegan and health and stuff like that. This is when my channel was still pretty small. I mean, 2013, I don't even think I had like 20,000 subscribers. I probably had 10, 15,000 subscribers, something like that. But it was actually like a little bit personalized. So that kind of caught my eye. And I thought, you know what? Maybe this could be something good. I knew what an MCN was. I knew that potentially they could help you in terms of helping out with your channel, maybe making like the header and everything look better, and maybe even getting you some sort of like sponsorships or something. And so I thought, well, if they're only taking 25% and I am making so little. I mean, at the time, I was barely making anything, right? Like I was just like building up my channel and I was still making money from other means. So it was like, even if this doesn't work out for me, and even if they don't do anything, it's not a huge deal because I'm not like really counting on this channel for money. I thought, okay, I'll talk to someone. And so I talked to the woman who had emailed me. We talked on the phone. She was so great and helpful, and obviously had like watched at least some of my videos. She was at least knowledgeable about my channel and what I did. She talked about like some brands that maybe we could talk to and like actually relevant to my channel. Like I think we talked about, at the time, I think I was drinking a lot of Almond Breeze. That was the almond milk I really like. Is that what it's called? I think it was Almond Breeze. And she was like, yeah, we could see if we could get something. Like she was bringing up things where I was like, yeah, I actually use that. Like, holy shit, you actually know what you're doing. This might be cool. So again, I thought, hey, there's not really anything for me to lose here. It's not like I'm turning over my channel to them or anything. So, it's a 2-year contract. Sure. And things went to shit pretty much immediately. It was amazing. So I get the contract. I read it several times. I sign it. Almost immediately, the chick I talked to no longer works for the company. what? Like the whole reason I signed up in the first place, she's gone. That was a great start to our relationship. And so this new representative clearly has no intention of doing anything for my channel. Over the next 2 years, nothing is done. I get like stock emails every once in a while saying like, hey, here are some collaborators, and they have like nothing to do with my channel. It was like a couple beauty channels. One was like a channel where the guy goes to like all around the world and eats all sorts of foods, like all sorts of foods. So obviously not like vegan related in any way. I think I tried for a few months to work with them and do something, but it was clear they had no intention of helping me at all. I was too small of a channel for them to really put any sort of work into my channel, right? And again, they're taking 25%. Now, 25% of what I was making wasn't a lot, but you get enough channels like mine, enough people who are gullible enough to do it, right? And so you're getting, you know, a 100 or so here, 100 or so there. That adds up. And all you have to do is have, you know, a few big channels that are making thousands and thousands of dollars a month. And hey, you're doing pretty well now, right? You're making a lot of money for doing nothing, basically. Again, because I had gone into it like, there's a possibility nothing is going to come of this and they're just going to take 25%. Because I had gone into it like that, I didn't feel so pissed off. I didn't feel so bad. I felt like, well, you got, bitch. Like, you knew this was a possibility and it happened and you just have to deal with it till your contract's up, right? And I actually did try to get out of my contract. I think maybe 6 months to a year into it, knowing that that wasn't going to happen. But I tried to be like, look, you know, y'all told me you were going to do this and this and this. And they were like, yeah, but in the contract, we say there's no guarantee that we were going to do anything for your channel. So I was like, yeah, you got me. So, needless to say, I just counted the days. I counted the days until that, I swear it was like late October something, 2015, when that would be it and they would be able to cancel it and, you know, and that's it. I did become more and more frustrated because at that point, I think 2015 was when my channel actually started doing better. And I actually started making some money from the channel. So that's when it started to bother me. It's like, oh, well, shit, now they're actually getting some money from me every single month. Like, dang it. But when they hit the cancel button, or maybe I had to hit the cancel button. I can't remember how it worked, but man, when that happened, that felt good. And then I was upset again because once they did that, it removed all of the data from like when I was part of that MCN, when I was part of their network. All of that data that was in my analytics was gone and is still gone. So I cannot see my analytics from like October 2013 to October 2015. What? I have it like archived. I think I have it like downloaded, but it's hard to read that way. I want to see it in the dang, you know, interface, like within YouTube. I want to see it. Yeah, whatever. Oh, one more story. This happened, I think this was actually in 2015. I did not even know this was a possibility. So it was one of the videos Happy Healthy Vegan had made responding to me. And so they were using clips like from my video, which is totally fine, of course. And then I check my email, which I like never ever checked, and I still am really bad at checking. And I had like a 4-day-old email or something from Ryan from Happy Healthy Vegan saying like, hey, your network put a claim on our video saying that it was copyright infringement because we have clips of your video in the thing. So by the time I saw that and got back to Ryan, I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. You know, I didn't even know it had been fixed already. I guess, you know, Ryan had appealed and then they just like dropped it or whatever. But so that was how I learned that, oh wow, networks can do this on your behalf. They can just claim other people's videos for copyright infringement on your behalf. What? So again, needless to say, I'm not part of an MCN and I will very likely never be part of one ever again. There is no reason for me to be part of one. I don't see a good reason for very many YouTubers at all to be part of one. Number one, if your reasoning is that, oh, they'll help you get sponsorships, maybe back in the day that was true when things were still new. There was no interface for you to kind of contact brands other than just like emailing them directly, but now there are literally websites dedicated to hooking you up with brands where you can join and you can do this all yourself, and you can look through what products are up for grabs, so to speak, and it'll say like about how much you'll get paid and all that kind of stuff. And you see this with lots of YouTubers who do not have MCNs, and they're, you know, promoting Audible and Squarespace. I think there's like a couple others that you see over and over and over again. You do not have to be part of an MCN to get that sort of sponsorship. I don't really do sponsorships on this channel because I don't know. Why am I going to promote Squarespace? I don't know dick about Squarespace. You make a website, cool. I'm not very good at selling stuff, you know, and I'm not making a website, so I don't know. I'm not anti-sponsorships or anything, but for me, there are none of them that I can really like genuinely sell and feel good about, I guess. Not that Squarespace is bad, but I think you know what I'm saying. I think it would just be weird for like, oh, this video is sponsored by Squarespace, because so many of you are trying to make websites, right? And like Audible's fine. I used to use it a lot when I used to walk my dog for long walks. You know, I'd listen to Audible and that was cool. But I have not had Audible for years. And I don't know. Again, it's like, how do you sell something that you don't use? Like, I've used it. I like Audible, but there is a book though, Under the Skin. That's one of my favorite books that I've listened to. I prefer reading books than listening most of the time, but Under the Skin is number one, the book is incredible, and number two, the woman who reads it does such a great job. So yeah, I mean, if you don't have Audible, if you can get the free trial, get it just for that. If you have Audible, seriously, get Under the Skin. It is really good. So anyway, I said I'd talk about why some people would need MCNs. And I think there are some cases where it can be useful. And that is if you are constantly dealing with copyright takedowns, with copyright infringement, right? So if you are doing movie reviews, that's a big one. If you are doing like Let's Plays, playing a lot of games, that's another big one. MCNs can potentially help you with those claims. Whereas if you are doing that on your own, because of the way YouTube's system is, if you get 3 strikes, you're out sort of thing, an MCN can help deal with that so that you don't end up in that situation. But I think for most of us, most YouTubers, we're not dealing with that. Like, I very, very rarely get any sort of copyright claim. The most recent one, I think, would be the What the Health. And so I, didn't make money for like 30 days, and then that was it. And the video was remonetized. So that's like it's not a huge deal. And there are some cases where if you use 30 seconds of a clip, it'll automatically be like, oh, this is from BBC. You can't monetize this video. So all you have to do is clip the clip a little bit, right? So that it's not a full 30 seconds, and then you're fine. And again, there are only a few cases of that. Like, most of the time for someone like me, where I'm just sitting here talking, or any clips that I'm using are coming from YouTubers, most YouTubers are not going to go after you for copyright infringement, right? They're not stupid. Yeah, so for someone like me, it just makes no sense to give 25%, in some cases 30%, 20%, even 10% of my earnings to a company. But again, if you're using like clips from movies and video games and stuff, and you are constantly getting these copyright claims and like not being able to monetize your channel, or you're afraid of appealing and all that stuff, that like your channel could literally be taken down. So yeah, then it makes sense to maybe look for an MCN that can help you. So that's it. I don't know how interesting that is. Sometimes I want to do videos like this, that doesn't have anything to do with veganism or, whatever. But it's like, I don't know, it might be interesting to people. So I don't know, is it worth putting videos like this on the channel, or should I start another channel like a real YouTuber, have a second channel called like A Natural Vegan Unplugged? No. Well, now I have to name it that. Ironically though, because I'm cool, guys. Would it be useful to just have a second channel where I'm just doing stuff like this that isn't really relevant, or does it matter? Should I just put it here? I don't know. I'd like to know your thoughts. Yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you do have experience with an MCN or anything else to share, please do down below. And you can support the channel, patreon.com/unnaturalvegan, and I'll have a new video very soon. God dang it. I don't even know what real music is anymore. Like, I feel like I don't even have taste in music. It's just anything that is not little kid music, little kid sounds, like the toys and the nursery rhymes and the whatever on YouTube. Anything that's not that, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty good. Like, I used to have such specific tastes in music, and now I don't care. As long as it's not baby shit, sounds pretty good to me.